Hi everyone, Nick from Gallery 7. How do you safely hang a large frame piece in a thin wooden frame without the expense of a strainer back? Watch and find out. So this morning I'm finishing off this job. We're going to start putting it together. The mat's all cut. And we've talked about this before. This is a large frame. It's 38 by 22 and it's very thin wood. If we look at it from the front, you can see why we like frames like this, because it's thin, it's elegant, doesn't take away from the artwork. The problem is, it's pretty large, and there's just not enough stuff here to safely screw in the hardware to put the wire on. Well, the first solution is something called a strainer back. And that would be something like this that runs all the way around the frame. It's then screwed into the frame from here, and that gives you a place to put the hardware. It also does something else too, which I can't really demonstrate now because I'm holding the camera. But if you see how thin the frame is, let's see if I can make it. I don't think I can. Anyway, if you pick it up like this with all the weight on it, this can bow out a little bit. You know, that we can live with if you tell the client to hang it carefully, or we go hang it. Because once it's on the wall, the fact that this is somewhat flexible when you pick it up is really not a problem. So now we're going to try to solve the problem of getting hardware on here without the expense of a strainer back. I'll be back in 1 second to show you something. Actually, guys, I forgot to mention a third problem, which is that when you have a wire running from here over to here, and the wire gets pulled on as it's hanging, that's going to pull these edges in, and that can pull the corners apart. So those are the three problems a strainer back solved, and with this, what I've come up with will solve two of them. It'll solve the problem of the frame being pulled in as you hang it on a wire, which can pull the corners apart. It also solves where to put the hardware. So what I've come up with is a brace. So now you can imagine if I have a wire running from here over to here, and then that wire gets tugged on, it's not going to pull these sides in. And the other thing is, how do we get the hardware on? Well, this is going to screw through into the frame from here. Now, the screws don't get to go in here very far, so I can't just put the hardware on here. So what I came up with was to do this. So what I did was I cut down the edge of this so it doesn't show from the side of the frame. This allows me to screw into this and into this twice. And now if we think about this, this is in a sense pinned onto this, so it's not going to go anywhere. This is screwed to this, this, and this. It ties all this together as one unit. And I think I've come up with something here that will be a lot less money than a strainer back, and will be absolutely safe and stable when it's hung on the wall. When this is all put together, I'll show it to you. Okay, this is all done. I'm thrilled with how it came out. I've never seen anything like this before. Someone may have already done something like this, but I did invent this for myself, so henceforth we're going to refer to this as a Gallery 7 brace. So what we talked about was this wood here is too thin to safely screw hardware into to hold the weight of a piece this large. And we also said you could make something like this called a strainer back that would go all the way around the frame. But I wanted to come up with something that was more affordable for our clients and would be absolutely safe and solid. So what I love about this is screwed into this, here and here. This is screwed into the frame with a very carefully pre-drilled hole, and this crosses over to here and here and is screwed in both these places, which makes this whole thing one strong solid unit. Now when I pull on the wire, I mean, nothing happens. It's totally solid. And because of the brace, these sides aren't pulling together. This really worked. I did make one change. Remember initially I was going to have these angled because these D-rings are designed to have pressure pulling this way on them, not on the edge. But when I angled it, I had a hard time avoiding this screw hole and this screw right here, which you can't see, but attaches this to this. So I came straight across, and to solve the problem of these not wanting to be pulled on this way, I put a screw right here, and this thing is great. And now we're going to show you this absolutely beautiful inkjet that we framed and tell you who the artist is. All right, it is done. The Gallery 7 brace is on. And boy, you can really tug on this and nothing happens. It's so solid. I love it. Now we're going to show you this beautiful inkjet print by Acton artist Tim Owen. And you can now see why we chose this basic, beautiful, thin black frame. It's what you should put on this type of contemporary work. And Tim is a great photographer. And the woman who bought this loves this print. And it's so nice when someone really loves a work of art. And it was on the table after we figured out how we're going to frame it for her. As she's leaving, she turned around and looked at the table and said, "Bye, print." So that kind of means a lot, I think, when art gets to someone like that. And we're pretty sure she's going to love this.